Realistic looking games can be cool and all, but I miss when games kinda looked and played like games. Granted, I've got nostalgia for it, but I've always liked how Nintendo 64 games looked. The low poly count and blurry textures, they just hit home for some reason. As someone who loves 3D platformers of old, I had to give Cavern of Dreams a shot. The game revolves around a dragon named Finn who is looking for his family. When Finn saves enough of his family members, which can be found as unhatched eggs around the world, he can learn new abilities from the sage. At the beginning of the game, you can pretty much just run and jump and that's it. Finn can do a slightly higher jump by jumping right after a previous jump. The player can also build momentum by rolling around. The moveset is limited at first, but the game gets going once you return a few siblings. The tailspin is a fun move. This can be used to break thin walls and other obstacles. The player can also launch themselves forward by using it right before they hit the ground. It feels great to use and I love carrying this momentum. The second unlockable ability is gliding. This can be used on vents to gain some extra height. The horn dice will allow Finn to break things underneath him, travel against the current in the water, give him a higher bounce, making that second jump thing from before pretty useless. This can also be used to unlock the fast travel portals around the hub world. The bubble shot will allow Finn to shoot bubbles. This can be used to put out fires, clean this giant baby thing's nose, and that's about it. It's nice to have a projectile, but there are very few enemies in the game. The last ability will be unlocked when Finn rescues all of his relatives. He can finally fly. I love this because the devs put characters in high up places and they will comment about being able to fly. In general, it's just fun flying around these worlds and seeing what the devs put on the outside of them. These are the main moves in Finn's kit, but there are a few other wrinkles and temporary power-ups. My favorite one is probably the Jester Boots. These allow Finn to walk off a platform into the air while keeping his elevation. There are some interesting applications for it. There are also a few items that Finn can pick up and use. Things like potions, a pair of gloves, some wings, things like that. There are 3 main collectibles and they all have their own uses. As covered before, the eggs will unlock new moves after a certain amount of them have been collected. The mushrooms are used to feed Finn's siblings. Once they are fed, they will open up fast travel points and give Finn a happy heart, which will open up doors around the hub world. The encyclopedia cards will unlock entries in the encyclopedia. I always love when games do dumb shit like this. Sometimes it's just fun to read about the game's world, you know? There are only 4 main levels in the hub world, and I'll take a second to go over them. The hub world is great fun, and the game pretty much considers it a level. I mean, there are 8 eggs, 80 mushrooms, 12 cards, and a lot of secrets. Exploring the hub world, it's honestly a good fun. Plenty of puzzles here. Sure, I don't find it as brilliant as, say, Gratilla's Lair or anything, but I do like it a lot. It's a nice place to chill, and it staples the game together. Lost Leaf Lake is the first real stage, and I honestly don't have too much to say about it. It's a good beginner stage to ease the player into the game, and has a nice, fall-like aesthetic. Finn can knock these apples down and throw them into the soil to make platforms. It's kind of like Mumbo's Mountain, you know? It's a damn fine beginner stage. But I really got nothing here. The next world is much more memorable. Airborne Armada takes place on a giant-ass plane. Finn can either go inside the plane or stay on the outside. Eventually, Finn will be able to reach the front of it and smack the steering wheel, which will tilt the plane on either its right or left side. One puzzle here involves throwing potions at boils around the plane to calm it down. It's a fun and memorable stage. Prismic Palace is a nice theme world that has plenty of attractions to it. There's a giant starfish you have to ground pound correctly, a temple where a laser beam tries to hone in on you, and an observatory, just for example. There are a good few puzzles here that require temporary power-ups, like the Jester Boots. Some of the puzzles took me a hot minute here. Like in this palace here, where time freezes, there's a little pressure plate underneath the table. That took me longer to find than I care to admit. My favorite puzzle involves taking an apple from Lost Leaf Lake and feeding it to this eel-like creature. I love how the worlds are interconnected in this game. It reminds me of Banjo-Tooie. The last world is kind of a weird one. The main objective here is to find items around the map and throw them into paintings to complete them. It has a couple of smaller scaled levels inside of it. It's an interesting idea once you catch on, and it's pretty neat. It all comes down to a final boss battle, which honestly becomes tedious pretty quickly. Finn will have to chase Luna on a straightaway while she shoots bombs at him. I'm gonna stop there, though. I don't want to reveal too much about the final world. The game only took me roughly 8 hours or so to beat, and to get 100%. I know some may look at this as a negative, but in a world where games are hundreds of hours and love to overstay their welcome, I can actually get behind this. Keep in mind, it's only roughly 13 bucks, at least in freedom units. I guess I could see the argument it could have used an extra level or two, but again, price to length is honestly fine by me. What are some negatives? I can see the lack of collectibles being one. One thing that I just love about Banjo-Kazooie is not just the fact that there are so many collectibles, but they all do something unique. You can shoot eggs, red feathers help you fly, golden feathers enable the Wonder Wing attack, notes open doors in Gratilla's Lair, Jiggies open up more levels, Gingels will give you another Jiggy, and so on and so forth. In Cavern of Dreams, there are only 3. Mushrooms, encyclopedia cards, and eggs. Mushrooms open portals, eggs unlock moves, and the cards fill out the encyclopedia. For a Collectathon, there really aren't many collectibles here. There are also barely any enemies. It seems kind of weird, and is it just me or is this a new trend in indie 3D platformers? I know 3D platformers aren't exactly known for their combat, but enemies are a nice way to make sure the player is paying attention to their surroundings. It also gives them an excuse to try out their attacking moves. Dreams. Finn even has the tailspin, but it's really only used for destroying thin walls. There are a couple of goodies that are really hidden. When I run into this shit, I usually just look it up after like stumbling upon it for a bit. There's this one card in particular that I honestly don't know I would have found without a guide. It's just worth noting because I know that some people like to 100% games without a guide, but man, this one encyclopedia card was such a bitch to find. I can see the argument that an extra level or two would have helped to flesh out this game more. It feels like it stops early, if that makes sense. On one hand, the shorter length will make it more replayable, but there was that feeling that it ended a bit early. Again, it was only 13 bucks or so I'm not too miffed by it personally, but this is a valid complaint that I've seen floating around about this game. I know some are into the bang for your buck argument, and Cavern of Dreams, it might come up short here. If you're a fan of collectathons, please give this a go. Cavern of Dreams is a cute little game all the way through. I had a blast getting everything in it, and I'm down to try out some more cute little 3D platformers that I happened to stumble onto on Steam. A strong 5 out of 7 from me.